The new Minister of the Federal Capital Territory (FCT) has warned house owners whose houses are built in contravention of the city's master plan, saying they will be demolished. Nyesom Wike spoke immediately after he was inaugurated as one of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's ministers on Monday. To quote him, he says, "People who are distorting the master plan of Abuja, too bad. If you know you have built where you are not supposed to build, it will go down. Be it a minister of anywhere, be it an ambassador. If you know you have developed where you are not supposed to, your house will go down." Vintage Wiki, some might say. Well, still with us right here at VOP this morning, right here in the studio, Charles Ideho, who is a public affairs analyst, and virtually Chukuma Okoro. Thank you, gentlemen, for staying with us for the second segment. Now, my first question will go to Mr. Chukuma Okoro. Mr. Chukuma, Nasir El-Rufai, right, was minister of the FCT some 20 years back and executed this same plan of Wike's, but on the long run, people will build houses in the same place which were, the existing ones, and they have been demolished. What change do you think Wike can actually achieve? What difference can he make? Mr. Chukwuma, this question is for you.
Yeah, Esther, yes, Wike, like you called him vintage Wike, Wike is, he has a achievement, right from when he was local government to the time he was governor. He built a record 12 flyovers within 8 years. That's a good record if you ask me. But Wike should understand that he's no longer the governor of Rivers State. He's the Federal Capital Territory, the FCT. Whatever Wike says goes beyond Nigeria. I think he was a little bit confrontational on the first day of office, his first day in office. He might have actually sent out a wrong signal, probably to the international community and even to foreign investors. Abuja is not. I understand that our people are very impossible, that people are very difficult. Nigerians ordinarily do what they are not supposed to do. And so somebody asked him about whether he was going to do what El-Rufai did. And he said, you people say that El-Rufai was a good minister of the FCT. So if I do what he did, won't I be a good one? So to say. I expect him to go about it the good way. He should be objective. If, for instance, somebody has built on top of a drainage outside the master plan, unfortunately, that building has to come down, no matter whose ox is God, according to what we can.
All right.
It's a good thing.
Okay.
That okay.
All right.
It's a good thing that Abuja has a plan, and it should be followed. Abuja was reputed some time ago to be one of the fastest growing cities during the period of El-Rufai. All of a sudden, like he duly acknowledged, has overtaken parts of the city. That is not a good thing to hear. He also said something about land speculators who buy lands and leave them fallow for like 5-10 years. Lands that were bought for 200,000, and there are people are expecting to sell them for 1 or 2 billion naira, and in the process they are defacing the master plan. It is not very good. So I expect him, well, to match action with words. But most importantly, let him be objective in doing whatever he does.
All right then. Thank you very much, Chukuma. Charles, now, the minister of the FCT is a peculiar one. It's almost like a governor of a state, because the FCT does not have a governor. So the minister stands there in the position of a governor. But with the constitution, I don't know if we can have that up, but if we can't, it's not a problem. With the constitution, the president actually occupies the role of the governor, and the vice is, yes, and then the assembly are like the executive and all of that. In light of that, Wike basically, well, the minister of the FCT does what the president wants him to do. When he was governor of his state, he could take decisions, do whatever he wanted. But as a minister, in as much as it's an important role, he cannot unilaterally take decisions. Do you think he can carry out this? I don't want to call it a threat because do you think he can? Yes, okay, that's according to the Constitution. Let's take it up a bit. Well, the president may, in exercise of his powers conferred upon him by Section 147 of this Constitution, appoint for the FCT Abuja a minister who shall exercise such powers and perform such functions as may be delegated to him. The key word here is as may be delegated to him by the president from time to time.
Yes.
If he decides to demolish houses that were not supposed to be where they are, and these houses, as he has said, regardless of who you are, belong to people that are influential, in quotes.
Influential.
And they cry to the president, and the president being a man who likes to, paddy, let's just work together. And the president says, look, don't do this. Do you think he will be able to? How does this constitution, this clause in the constitution, affect his reign and intention as a minister?
Okay. Well, I think there's a street balance called initial gra-gra. For me, Wike may just be puffing or huffing and puffing, whichever comes first. Because look at that session. The president is like the governor or mayor of Abuja, okay, FCT. FCT has about 6 local governments. Again, the constitution is also not very clear. Each of these local governments, they are autonomous of the federal system. They are autonomous because they are also added to the 774 local government we have in Nigeria. So if they are autonomous, they are not necessarily under the supervision of the minister. The minister is holding that position in trust, both for the people and holding it on behalf of the president. So Wike cannot on his own go do anything that the president may not assign to him. That's what the constitution says. So that's why I said that he should settle down, understand exactly what the constitution says about how things should be done as regards FCT, the Federal Capital Territory. There's somebody who mans the territory. Okay, look, I can't do it all, I can't do because I have other things. Can you help me hold this thing for me? Hold it when okay, please, cut a little for me. It's just like somebody buying a loaf of bread. Hold it for me. When I come, cut for me. Oh, you on your own, you can't decide how to appropriate that bread.
Of course.
That's what where Wike is. Wike will not do anything that the president has not asked him to do. If he does that, then he will now run into a problem with the president. Don't also forget, Wike also it doesn't belong to the ruling party. He also has to be careful. If the ruling party says...
In fact, that's my next question
yes,
to you.
Okay. If the ruling party says, no, don't go there. He said, no, I must go there. They said, no, this is not according to our own party. See, all over the world, in most cases, city plans and master are usually distorted. Lagos used to be the federal capital, but it was distorted. What you do is that you look at it and see how you can remodel. You remodel the city in order, because people who are bought those and they didn't just buy another, as he said. So look at the thing. What Wike ought to have said is that we are going to do a proper profiling. We're going to take another deeper look into the master plan, Abuja master plan, and see that if there's a way that people have encroached, then we'll find a way to seek redress. If there's a way or another. So you can't just, this is not a military government. It's a constitutional government.
Okay, now let's look at Wike as a person and the political party that he belongs to. It almost feels like he's no longer a part of the PDP with some statements he's been making publicly. Now, he openly criticized the PDP's presidential candidate, delivering Rivers State to an opposition party for the first time since 1999. Adding to the blow, he repeatedly visited President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, received a minister of the FCT nomination, and met with APC chairman Ganduje twice in the past week. What do you think the PDP should do concerning Wike? Because it almost feels like they do not know what to do, how to deregister him, or like they do not have any right. Exactly what principles does the PDP as a party have against such practice?
Well, PDP, they have so much power regarding what to do with Wike. But you see, here we're always looking at what will people say, what will happen to them. If the PDP goes ahead to ban Wike, I don't think anything will happen. Wike will remain banned. But again, PDP, that house is crumbling. They've not been able to put that house in order because of those article passed through the back door to clinch that position, which of course is against the arrangement they had over time. But you see, Wike for me, I'm not Wike's fan at all, because the reason is that if you go to Ghana here, you don't just cross carpet. Your party will be sinking, but you will find a way to build it to make sure it remains afloat. But how can you say because you don't get the presidential ticket, somebody has got it, then the party should sink? That kind of person should not be trusted. I wonder why APC is trusting Wike. Wike who openly fight for the drowning of his party. Wike who worked openly against the interests of his party. Wike who is working. I mean, how can you trust such a man with political power?
Don't you think that it was deliberate that they put him in the FCT close to the president so that monitor him well?
Well, it remains to be seen. Again, Wike is not somebody can easily guard. That's why I said earlier that he might be demarketing the party that he's working for now, because he has not renounced his membership of PDP. He still remains carrying member of PDP, serving under a different party. Now, the party's ideology as BPC different from the party ideology of PDP. So if he says, okay, if I were the minister of PDP, this is how I would have done it, but APC will say, no, take it easy, this is how we'll do it. Then there might be a confrontation, which the president may not like. And then don't also forget that even as president has been inaugurated, that there is, whether you like it or not, a new cabal has just been vetted. And that cabal is led by, I'm saying this on national TV, is led by Bajabia Miller. Bajabia Miller himself, would he work with Wike? You know how bad when they have the crack over the years, have been able to run the National Assembly, the Green Chamber and all that. Do you see a Bajabia Miller looking at Wike demolishing somebody's property and all that? You may say, no. So Wike should just settle down, learn what it is, how it's constituted, how it's composed, before he can begin to make this public statement. Because as a public officer, you must learn to be tactful. Tact, there's a way, as I said earlier, look at what the president said. Because you must learn how to speak. Public speech, you must look at the president. In his inauguration speech, he just slipped in one phrase, one clause. Today now, the whole he had tried to do, just subtlety is gone. It was just simple. And today, everywhere. So you see, public utterances and public speeches, they are very important. Once you hold a public office, you must learn to speak or talk with tact. Wike is not talking with tact at all.
Yes, let me ask you this now. You know that Abuja, as it is, you know, the state of the FCT became dilapidated after El-Rufai left office in 2007. A lot has gone wrong. The roads that were paved with gold, so to speak, has gone bad. Lights has gone, you know, off on roads. Roads are dark. Insecurity has increased. We had bombings in the FCT. You know, the places around the FCT, we have slums.
More slums now.
A lot has happened in Abuja, and yes, there is need for someone with, you know, boldness to come in and say, look, let's set this right. Let's do this right. In as much as his statement might have been slightly out of place.
Slightly out of place?
Slightly out of place. Because he did apologize.
Afterwards, somebody must have said, Wike, you shouldn't have said that.
What do you make of the fact that, what do you make of, you know, the projects that are ahead of him, the things that he is required to do and set right?
Charles, that was what I said, that the president actually made a good, we can leave all the...
I didn't get that. The president made a huge what?
A good pick. A good pick.
Oh, okay.
A good pick. In Wike, if you leave out all the political nuances surrounding entry into the cabinet, and if you discount Wike's nuisance value, yes, his nuisance value, it's somebody who is he's fit for that position. You recall that when the president was declared a winner, Wike actually invited him to River State. He came and commissioned some landmark projects. And even before then, the president had also gone to River State to campaign. And I'm sure he probably saw what Wike did in River State. River State, the Port Harcourt, the capital city, used to be known as the Garden City. All of a sudden, it became a garbage city. So I'm sure that the president putting all these things together about Wike's excellence, the way he changed the face of River State, you have to give it to him. He did so well in River State in terms of deploying infrastructure, road infrastructure, even outside the riverine areas. He did so well. So I'm sure the president will have relied on the excellent work he did in River State to now say, hey, come over and fix Abuja. Like Esther rightly pointed out, and you did too, there are so many slums springing up here and there in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, which is more like the head of Nigeria's unity, the nation's capital. It should be a dignified place. So Wike is expected to replicate what he did in River State, in Abuja. Like Charles pointed out, he will need the backing of the president. It's going to be a very tough call for him. But you recall, you know that the guy, give it to him, he's stubborn to a fault, but he's a rebel with a cause. Whatever he sets out to do, he does it very well. Under Wike's watch as Minister of FCT, if you take out all the politics that will follow it, I expect rather, that he is going to deliver to make Abuja a cleaner place. The environment needs to be cleaned up. The green areas need to be recovered. And people that defy the master plan, unfortunately, have to pay for it. Willingly, if you know and you built and you didn't know, of course, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. If your project stands in the way of public interest, I'm sorry, it has to go. And what Nigerians need to do as a people is to support the man to replicate what he did in Abuja, in River State, in Abuja. His work is well cut out for him, easy.
Okay.
But I disagree.
You disagree?
No, I disagree with, for River State, he said Wike did very well in River State. You see, we always find a way to, once you get to the capital city, you think the whole state has been developed. Now, what he did in Falga, is that the same thing he did in Oboga? Okay, for instance, that's how they call their local governments anyway. Delga, Akuga, and all that. If you go to Degema, if you go to Buguma, if you go to Okrika, is that the same thing he replicated what he did in Falga, that's Port Harcourt City, local government and all that? So, yeah, he developed River State, the capital city. But if you go to places like the far-flung areas, Omoko and all that, did they also replicate the Wike's magic wand in River? Did he replicate in all these areas? These are the same. So, yeah, he has done well in River State. But again, what I'm looking at is that I don't know if Chukuma, have you been to Omoko? Have you been to all these areas that you say he did well in River State? If you say, yeah, he did well by returning Port Harcourt City from garbage city to garden city, I will agree. But he did well in rivers in total, in general. I have a problem with that.
But the Wike said he was not interested in becoming a minister. That's the funny thing. Yeah, we actually have that video.
Politics.
He said, I don't want to become a minister. I have no interest in becoming a minister. I want to do my best as the governor of the state. So how come we're saying this?
Well, again, there are political statements. Again, they will tell you that these are circumstantial. Are these circumstances presented said before me, so I said it. But now things have changed. For instance, he was even saying when Buhari said, Tinubu said he was going to be building on the achievement of Tinubu,
Buhari.
He took a swipe at Tinubu to say, how can you be voting for somebody he said, what did Buhari do that somebody want to be? But it's the same person who he took a swipe at that he's now working for and under. So you see, it's a political statement.
Wow.
So they are all circumstantial. Circumstances may change. When they change, then you change
Your pattern.
All right, now,
Chukuma Okoro.
don't mind me. Refer to him as a rebel. Do you see him being rebellious against the president in taking decisions? Can he be rebellious against this man?
That's
the
another way
president
to
now?
think. Oh.
He can't afford it.
You
He
sure?
can't afford
No, he can't.
to.
Yes, I tell you why. Well, as a rebel, yeah, he could be a rebel, and then he could have gone away with that while he was in Rio because he superintended over the affairs of Rivers as the chief executive and chief security officer. But you see, we are working well now. You see, his home. He has no home, politically
Right now.
speaking. He has no home, politically speaking. Because when you look for trouble outside, you have a home to run to where you are shielded. But Wike has no home. He has helped to destroy that home, in a manner of speaking. So he
he's like
can't
an
afford it
outcast.
because why they may not look at the books, River State books now, because Wike is still in reckoning. So if as a rebel, if he rebels against this current government and then they take him out of the system, then they will now begin to say, hey, come, how did you even spend the Rivers money? Then the Rivers people say, okay, I bet let's ask him. You see, so he can't afford it. Because that's why, one of the reasons why Wike accepted to serve here is to have a covering over himself. So that people will not pry into his immediate past activities in Rivers State. Because you can't say, are you saying that the books are correct? No, they may not be not necessarily correct. So you can't, as we speak, you dare not pry into the books of the books of Wike in the recent past. But if he dares rebels against this president and he shoved off, and then the wolves will come and tell us how you did. Then again, he will have no hope. He have no home to shield him from whatever bullets and darts that will be fired at him.
Wow.
Quite unfortunate.
Yes.
All right, so let's wrap this up now. Chukuma Okoro, let's have your final thoughts now on this Wike matter.
Okay. Moses, let me take
Go ahead.
myself back to what Charles said, about Wike not being able to rebel against the president. When I said that he's a rebel with a cause, I didn't actually mean it in the sense that he will rebel against
No,
the
I just
president.
asked the
He
question.
will rebel.
I just
Come
asked
again?
the question.
You said?
He
asked
just
the question.
asked.
I just asked the question.
Based on the profile which you described Wike as, if it's possible that he would do the same thing with this administration he's serving.
And that's what I'm into. That's what
Okay,
I'm
go
coming to. I'm trying to explain the reason why I called him a rebel.
Okay.
Do you get that? Yeah, I didn't actually mean it that he was going to rebel against the president. What I meant is that he's going to rebel against the institutions that attack, or the persons that attack the face of the FCT, even if they belong to the same party, even if they belong to the same group. That was actually what I meant when I said he's a rebel with a cause.
All right. So let's have your final thoughts now.
Well, like I always say, Wike has his work cut out for him.
Okay.
He should know how to speak.
All right.
Charles also pointed out that in governance, you should employ tact and diplomacy
Okay.
in making statements. He is no longer a governor of Rivers State. He is now the minister of the Federal Capital Territory, the seat of government of Nigeria. Whatever he says could send wrong signals. It could crash markets, honestly. It could even affect the entrance of foreign investors. If it creates the impression that Abuja, the FCT, the Federal Capital of Nigeria, is under siege, I'm afraid outsiders might actually take it that way. So he needs to tone down
he talks off the
his
cuff
level
a
of
lot.
confrontation.
Right.
He can actually do his work without having to be confrontational. Let him employ tact and diplomacy in the conduct of government business.
All right then.
All right.
Charles.
Mr. Charles, Stephen.
Well, for me, I think let me just tie in on what he said. Does Abuja need a remodeling? Yes. Does Abuja need a rejigging? Yes. Does Abuja need a resurfacing? Yes. Do we need to revisit the master plan? Yes. But again, what Wike should seek to do, rather than be a powerful individual and a weak institution, is rather seek to strengthen the institution so that it will be counted for him, as a credit. That when after 4 years, if it's renewed for him, then we can look at Wike was the one who strengthened that ministry to work. Even if you put a Dundee there, the ministry can indeed work without having a very powerful person who is a rebel.
Interesting.
All right, big thanks to Chukwuma Okoro and Charles Ideho, both public affairs analysts. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
We'll take business. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll get into business, entertainment, and sports. Stay with us.